So chapter number 2 is about purification. So purification is purifying the mind. So purifying the negative energy of the mind, purifying the negative seed of the mind, and purifying the manifesting disturbing emotion of the mind. So therefore, let me. So first, when we talk about so mind, what is mind, right? People often talk about mind, and people often talk about my mind and my feeling, and today I'm happy, all the basis of the mind. So, so therefore, the question is, do we really recognize the mind? So that's the question. So that means, many one Tibetan great master said, realizing the meaning of the mind. So what is the realizing the meaning of the mind? Encompass everything, knowing everything, and without knowing the meaning of the mind was ignorance, like illusion mind, impure mind. So when we talk about realizing the meaning of the mind, so we are not talking about our ordinary mind. Ordinary mind is very easy to recognize. So when we wake up, we often use our ordinary mind, sensory consciousness, hearing, like smelling, taste, touch, all these are, generally speaking, gross and very ordinary mind. So we should not rely on this mind, to 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 realizing the meaning of the mind. So realizing the meaning of the mind means understanding, what is the nature, what is the true nature and the reality of the mind. So therefore, understanding, true nature of the mind is beyond our words. Not easy. It's something like, it describes something like the mute people. People who are mute, they can taste, some food, taste of the food, but they can't express. They can taste the food, like mute people, So realizing the nature of the mind is beyond our words is something described like mute people, they taste the food but can't express, like that. So similarly, so this the many great masters said, realizing the meaning of the mind, deeper understanding of the nature of the mind. Deeper understanding of the nature of the mind is, it is through, through deeper examining the mind. So through analyzing the mind is the best way we will be able to see the true nature and the true reality of the mind. Then one Tibetan master said, as long as mind is not recognized, right, then it will turn into the will of life. This is like in the samsara. It is like illusion mind. As long as mind is not recognized, the will of life is turned. But if this is understood, Buddha's mind is nothing other than that. So as long as mind is not recognized, it will turn into the will of life. It will turn into the will of life means impure mind, illusion mind, and often we focus on the appearance of the mind rather than examining the reality of the mind. So, for example, like when anger arrives, we will focus on the appearance of the anger rather than examining and the questioning the true nature, cause, reality of the anger, all different kinds of emotions. So therefore, so as long as mind is not recognized, then will of the life is turned. And then if this is understood, Buddha's mind is nothing other than that. It cannot be described either existing or non-existing or true nature of reality. Through deeper understanding of the mind, we will be able to find inner true quality of the mind, right? So therefore, many great master, Tibetan great master said, all the phenomena are the projection of the mind. All the phenomena. When we talk about the phenomena in all the external, internal, no matter what kind of phenomena, all are projection of the mind. Mind is not a mind, but essence of the mind, true essence of the mind is empty, right? Essence of the mind is empty, but everything constantly arises in the mind, right? So so that means everything, essence of the mind is empty, and mind is empty, yet everything appears, constantly appears in the mind. But through deeper analyzing, through deeper understanding, then we will be able to see that clear, lucid awareness of the mind. To see this clear, lucid awareness of the mind, to see the mind, right? So to see the mind means mind is kind of like thinker, knower, mind is thinker, knower, experiencing, isn't it? Mind is kind of like thinker, knower, experiencing. So when you analyze the mind, if you discover, any emotions, like we often discuss about perceptions and all these afflictive emotions appears to the mind, right? If we are able to discover any emotions, something, coming and remaining and departure, if you discover something, anger coming, remain and disappear, all kinds of like any attachment, anger, jealousy, whatever, coming. But generally speaking, we are not paying attention like this, right? When anger comes, we are not color and things like that, right? Mind is essence of this shape, color, any characteristic, but still you are experiencing something, beyond that, right? Your mind is empty, It means empty of shape, color, and things like that. Yet, constantly appears to the mind. Means we experience beyond, without knowing the characteristic of the mind, And then you discover mind is essence of characteristic. Yet we experience something, right? And then this is what we are talking about. Through deeper examination of the mind, then you will find what is true nature of the mind, what is that pure lucid mind, right? Through not examination, we will not find that mind. It is just like, we often speak about mind, but we are not examining or not analyzing. We can't find the mind. So we have to analyze the mind, then we will be able to find this essence, inner quality of the mind, isn't it? So when you experience mind is something, essence of, it is empty, absence of shape, color, and characteristic, yet experiencing something. Beyond this, you are examining more, right? Mind. So more examination means the mind as calm, mind calm mind, mind, calm mind, calm mind. Mind as a knower, mind is calm. Mind as moving, mind is knower. Calm mind, movement of mind, and the knower of mind is knower, knower of the mind. So when you further analyze, mind is calm, it means then very clear, lucid, If the mind is calm, clear, lucid, and luminosity. If the mind is agitated, then wheel of the line is turned, As long as mind is not recognized, then worse ignorance. Make confusion in your mind. Confuse your mind, As long as mind is not recognized, worse ignorance means confused. Because we we don't know what is that that true nature, this the mind. So when mind moves, thought arises. Right? Generally speaking, when mind moves means when we think, thought arises. Often we think, then thought arises. When thought arises, so what our mind do? Our mind change the thought. That's happened, isn't it? For example, like somebody make you angry, anger arises, then thought arises, and you will chase this mind. And there's no way you can see the the true nature of the mind, because mind is confused. So when mind moves, thought arises, generally speaking, right? So when we analyze what's the difference between calm mind and movement of the mind, so generally speaking, calm mind is kind of like peace, clear, and less agitation, less distraction, Not much thinking, right? Calm mind is something you want to reduce the negative energy of the mind, right? It is calm. So it means reduce your negative energy of the mind, and you want to cultivate, the good energy, positive energy in the mind. When the mind moves through that way, then positive energy we will move. Movement of the mind is kind of not like mind move, thought arises. So what's the difference between movement of the mind and the calmness of the mind? So when thought arises, what kind of thought arises? What thought looks like? Shape, color, like this. Thought usually different kinds of emotion arise, right? It depends on the circumstances, right? Some emotions very intense, some emotions not that, not intense. It depends on the causes and condition. So when mind as a knower, mind is knower, right? It is thinker, knower, right? But when we to see the mind, we have no further examination, right? To see the mind means we have to remain our mind natural state of mind, no pushing anything, not not concentrating on the emotion coming, arising, and departure, no pinpoint, we can't pinpoint arising, remaining, and departure of the emotions. Until you find, something like, I cannot pinpoint emotions coming, remaining, and departure. Then no more further examination. You will not pinpoint. It is kind of like lucid and clear. It is lucid. Remember, clear nature of the mind, isn't it? So that means, so it means that when we often talk about mind, but very difficult to recognize the mind, but through deeper examination, something like that, we will be able to see the mind, isn't it? So this is very important important point. Then I will go back to the text. So here, 24, I think, verses. With bodies as numerous as all the atoms within the universe, I posted to all the Buddhas for 3 times. The Dharma and the Supreme communities. Likewise, I posted to all the reliquaries, to the basis of the awakening mind, to all learned habits and masters, and to all noble postate practitioners. So this is kind of like, this is number 2 chapter is for purification. So it means the 7 limb prayers, this 7 limb practice is most effective purifying our mind. So number 1 thing is prostration. So now prostration, prostration in Sanskrit we call nama. Nama is Sanskrit. Nama means kind of like Sanskrit word. It means bow down, bow down. Like you see the Indian, when you go to India, only India custom in the world. All the, their children will touch the parents' feet. Only India, nothing in the world, They will touch the feet of their parent out of respect, Children touch the feet of their parent. So the generally speaking, nama in Sanskrit word means to bow down, this one. And sometimes we call it ta nama, it's Sanskrit word. Ta nama means with pure mind you bow down, kind of like paying homage. This is Sanskrit word, prostration is nama, means paying homage, you bow down. And ta nama means with sincere, pure mind you bow down, not out of arrogance, not out of, generally speaking, who knows the motivation side, empty, like gestures like jewel. So this jewel gesture symbolizing form body. Inside, empty, inside, that's symbolizing truth body. True bodies of Buddha, form body and the wisdom body. Right? So when you do prostration, if you do, like you are offering jewel to the holy object, this will create huge amount of merit, jewel. So this symbolizing form body, and internal symbolizing truth body. And when you do prostration, sometimes 4 times people touch here, or corn, maybe here, speech, and the heart. So this, if you touch 4, it means it will, touching here, will create, to build special hair of the Buddha, when you become enlightenment. So touching your forehead means purify your body, purify your speech, and purify your mind. With this gesture, 4 or 3 gesture, with this hand gesture. And you will touch your 5 limbs, with short 5 limbs, and touch your 5 limbs. And you will recite, if you are strongly thinking about purifying, then recite 35 Buddhas prayers, 35 Buddha's name, and do the prostration. If you want to accumulate more merit rather than purifying karma, then you recite refuge mantra, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. I take refuge to Guru, I take refuge to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Because if you take refuge to the Buddha, you will receive the blessing. If you take refuge to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, it is kind of like removing obstacles. If you recite with the 100 syllables, which is of the mantra, then it is for purifying your past negative karma as well as this life afflicting negative energy. With this, then you do postation, isn't it? Short postation, right? And then long postation. Long postation is kind of like, you used to say like, it's just like, tree fall down, like this. Like this. Hold your body, touch, and then touch your forehead, and then up very fast. So these come from, these postations come from Telopa and Naropa. This is from India. All these teachings come from India, Indian tradition. And so there are two types of postation, short and long postation. What is the benefit of postation? You have to think, right? What is the benefit of postation? In the sutra, there are many benefits of doing postation. And number one benefit in the sutra means when you do postation, right, your body becomes very flexible, and you change your body color. Number one benefit. Number two, you doing this postation make you more, how can I say, make you more attractive, attractive. People like you.
Don't work for me.
People like you, very good looking man, very good looking girl, like that. What I mean? Something like that. And number three means your speech sound beautiful. These are the result benefit of the doing postation in the sutra. And number four, that means all the spirit. We often talk about good spirit. They are always with you. Spirit. When we talk about spirit, there are many spirits. The tree spirit. People destroying environmental, natural disaster because all these spirits are unhappy. Natural disaster. So things like that. And then all this Buddha, when you do the postation, Buddha, Bodhisattvas, and all these Hina and Hearer, solitary, they are always accompanied with you. And by doing postation, you have no fear, anyway, in the public, and you become very famous. And by doing postation, you will be able to, how can I say, you will be able to reborn, good rebirth. It will stop to be reborn in the hell being. Even if you reborn in the hell beings, you will come back quickly. So these are the benefit of doing the postation. And one Tibetan master, Kungtang Jampeya, very, very great master, his poem is very, very famous. So we often, he used this master's poem, Kungtang Jampeya, his great Tibetan master. He said, by doing postation, number one, purifying negative karma and accumulating, collecting good karma. Same, two reasons, purifying and accumulating. And also he said, by doing postation will increase your life, because he said doing postation will cure the cancer. Doing postation will cure heart disease. Doing postation will cure the jaundice, jaundice, and all kinds of these, we Tibetan call tan. Tan means in the Western is cancer, cancer. We never have this kind of, but usually that means cancer, But cure the cancer by doing postation. I'm not telling you lie, Some monks in India, I heard 2 monks will have cancer. And 2 monks who have cancer and went to Bodh Gaya, and do postation, 100,000 toys, something like that in Bodh Gaya, in front of this stupa. When they come back, all cancer cured. Their color completely changed. This is just only 20 years ago, not that long. So this, I can hear from the monastery, someone who have cancer, who have some kind of chronic disease. They often do prostration. And there's expression in Tibet, if you do, prostration, 100,000, couple of 100,000, you will never catch by cancer, never ever. Expression in Tibet, you do prostration 100,000 couple of times, you will never ever, catch by cancer, So these are, so this means the benefit of doing the prostration. So this is number one, Number one is prostration. What is the object of prostration now? Whom you prostrating? You prostrating, paying homage to whom? Object of prostration is your Guru, Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. All your parent also is the object of prostration. In Indian tradition, like this Indian people, when they see their parents, they touch the parents' feet. It's kind of a prostration, paying homage. They bow down, for their parents, kind of respect, because the believing parent is very, very kind, everything. So it's kind of like Tibetan tradition. We used to do prostration for our parents. We will teach you, small times. They will teach you, do prostration to your parent. So we do prostration to our parents. Money. So similarly, it's not making money. It's just creating good karma. We are talking about understanding the nature of the mind. Unless we purify, we will not understand the nature of the mind. So we have to purify our mind. Purifying can be, we can do many purifications at the same time, wake up, And also very important that when we wake up, we do lots of activities, go to bed. Before go to bed, think positive attitude. If you, no matter how hard day today, but before you go to bed, you should think good attitude. If you think good attitude, tomorrow better. You may have very difficult time today, right? But before go to bed, you think positive, more positive, and tomorrow better, You go like that. Go like that, one day, maybe 1 week, 1 month, then gradually, improve your mind. So this is number one, prostration. So, with folded hand, I beseech the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who possess a great compassion and resign in all directions. This is confession. This is a special. Now this means, so I have to go to this. Are you bored? Are you guys bored?
No.
Good. I have to read the commentary and now check. So this is confession. The commentary here is by the Tibetan master Geshe La Ngawang Gedun. The commentary is fourth section here concerns purifying yourself of bad deeds through using all four of the forces together, four power. We begin with a general presentation. You should, from the very beginning, make effort to see what you are reduced by performing any harmful actions, number one. Number two, despite your effort, however such action may occur due to some incident of carelessness, an attack of mental afflictions, or the like, it will be a mistake in such case to simply ignore the bad deeds. Number two. Number three, you should rather exert yourself in the various method of repairing the damage. Number four, this method was taught by our compassion teacher, Lord Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha. In instance in which you have committed some transgression of your vows, can be Bodhisattva vows, Trantic vows, monastic vows, or the different types of vows. Level of vows you may have should be repaired according to the method prescribed for those particular vows, for repairing the damage caused by the other kinds of bad deeds. You should utilize the four powers. As the sutra called the four practices states, the Buddha Sutra. If, O loving one, some great Bodhisattva has succeeded in the four practices, then even those bad deeds which have been both committed and collected can be overcome. What are the four practices? They are as the follows. The activity of distractions, the activity of applying, the antidote, the force of restraining from the particular bad deeds, and the force of foundation. So these are the four forces or four antidotes. We can purify if we practice sincere with these four antidotes, we will be purified. So when we talk about sincere, isn't it? Sincere purification is, if you remember, all your, do you remember what you did this morning till now? I can't remember it. Difficult, because do you remember what you did from this morning till now? Very difficult, right? But whatever you remember, any negative, you create it and you will check and make the promise, isn't it? Promise can be a very sincere promise, It can be like, if beyond your mind, you can promise, until I die, I will not do this. But you're still doing this, This is not like sincere, But you check courses, time, check the negative seed, what kind of negative seed, what time, what circumstances, what cause, who caused these negative emotions, and thinking all this, and then you promise. For example, like promise of healing, healing. Oh, I will promise. If the killing is not beyond your mind, then you can promise. I will make pledge, not kill until I die. Then if this is beyond your, if you think this is very difficult, then you should not promise something like that, isn't it? So generally speaking, you can make, maybe 1 week, maybe 24 hours, maybe this morning, maybe till afternoon, if not 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second, very sincere, it's very, very effective, with the promise is a promise, and regret is very important to purify the karma. So if your promise is not sincere, not purifying the karma. So it's very important. So these are the four. The first of the expression and collected refers to the actions whose karmic result are certain to experience. And even this type of karmic result can be overcome by the four practices. So that means committed. If you committed fully karma, fully karma, right? Then karma is certain, right? Fully karma is any karma with object, preparation, motivation, object, motivation, preparation, and conclusion. These are four aspects. For example, like karma of killing, object, motivation, preparation, conclusion. All these four aspects complete, then karma is complete. Okay. If you miss one aspect, karma is incomplete. So it's not fully ripened karma. If the karma is not fully ripened, it means not sure whether you will experience the result of karma or not, because you missed one aspect. Right? So all these fully ripened karma, ripening result of the karma, ripening result of karma. If the karma is ripening, good, bad, three results: ripening result, experience result, and returning result. If the karma is complete, good or bad, you will experience these three results. For example, like the action of killing, if the karma is complete with these four aspects, ripening result, karma will ripen, you will ripen, and you will be reborn in the bad realm. When you finish that karma, you still remain the energy of the karma, experiencing. So energy of the karma will experience in a certain environment where there is many problems. You will remove the energy karma carry. When this energy karma carry, returning karma means it will return to you. If you kill somebody will kill you. Returning karma, returning. So it's same like it goes same to the positive karma too. If you save others' life, other people save your life. This is the same. So this is when the karma is complete. It means object, motivation, preparation, and conclusion. Then karma is complete, isn't it? So it is very important when we talk about the fully ripened karma means complete these four aspects. If you miss one aspect, then it is not fully ripened karma. For example, like you want to kill certain animals, right? By mistake, you kill another. Your motivation is to kill certain animal, for example, like dog. By mistake, if you kill cat. So your motivation is you want to kill the cat. By mistake, you kill your motivation is to kill the dog. By mistake, you kill the cat. So therefore, it is not complete. The motivation is not complete. So this kind of karma is not fully ripened karma. So fully ripened karma, good or bad, must have these four aspects: object, motivation, preparation, and conclusion. So that is the maybe teaching tonight. You guys have any questions?
I have a question about, you're talking about pinpointing the arising and then departure, sustaining a departure of the thoughts. I didn't quite get what you were saying.
When emotion, usually when emotion arises, we describe coming, remaining and departure, like we described. So some point you cannot pinpoint coming, remaining and departure.
And that's the aim.
As soon as come goes to the departure, you know what I mean. For example, like impermanence, right? Impermanence, we are impermanence. Everyone is getting old, You can't say getting old is bad, you can't stop, right? It will go anywhere, doesn't matter, no matter who you are. Everyone since born, then direction to the aging, It is nature, right? If you are saying, oh, getting old, no good, can't stop, right? What you have to stop is, if you stop the karma, then it will stop, right? You know what I mean? So, as soon as we born, we are direction to the aging, but this is very difficult to recognize. It's kind of like growth, impermanence, very easy to see, right? We see, house ruin, people dying. These are very we can see, but subtle one is difficult. As soon as we born, we are going approach to the disintegrating our body, mind, right? So kind of like that, isn't it? So no pinpoint means the no arising, no remaining, no departure. It means mind, lucid and luminosity. Lucid mind, this is very good, When we do lucid mind, right, luminous mind will dispel the ignorance anyway. When mind is not, ignorance is kind of like clouded mind, isn't it? It's kind of like, we call it fundamental ignorance. It means, fundamental clouded means making you confusion, Making confusion means we all desire to be happy, but we are not creating the cause of happiness. Instead, we are creating more cause of unhappiness. There's ignorance making confusion. Fundamental ignorance is confusion. Nobody wants pain, nobody wants suffering, right? Everyone wants more and more happiness. But we are not receiving happiness because ignorance confuses our mind. Ignorance destroys our mind, Because we really want happiness, you should create the cause of happiness. But instead of creating cause of happiness, we are creating, cause of unhappiness. Because when something happens, we always think, nothing wrong for me, I am really fine, pure, I'm number one, I'm talking, nothing wrong for me. This he or she make me problem. So that's the fundamental ignorance is making, more confusion, So therefore, when we talk about the lucid luminosity of the mind, dispel this cloudy, open your mind, like cloud, like space, open your mind like space. So open your mind like space, there is no boundary, Keep going, no matter. This is what His Holiness said. The quality of the mind, we can extend further and further and further and further. Never ever. It will go far, far, far. Good quality. For example, like seed of compassion, seed of loving kindness, we will go further and further and further and further, deeper, 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 Because all these emotions does have very good, valid proof. Valid proof, means valid mind, valid proof. If something proved by valid, you will keep go further, 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 further. If emotions like fundamental ignorance and like self-judging mind, the bottom line is invalid base. Invalid base means we can't go further, can't go further and further and further. You know what I mean? If you're, because the base of these fundamental ignorance are invalid. Therefore, you can't go further. When you train the mind, there's no boundary, right? Training the mind go further, further, further. When you train the body, there is limit. You know what I mean? If you go to gym, there's limit. You can't do exercise beyond your ability, right? But when you train the mind, you keep going with the valid proof, with the how can I say, with valid mind, with the wisdom, thinking with all the holistic viewpoint.